Greetings, it's Vaygrim, and welcome to Dirty Bomb. Dirty Bomb is a free-to-play first-person shooter on Steam. You can actually back it for $30. I recommend you do some research and play it before you do. And I'm going to explain why. Dirty Bomb actually has a very, very great features. It has a very promising design. In terms of actual shooter mechanics, I like the shooter mechanics. But, actually, going to turn this down even more. Apply. So much better. Okay, so Dirty Bomb is actually an interesting game. You start off as rank 1. And you earn ranks and level up. I'm level 4. All of level 4 is, I think it's 53,000 experience to get to level 4. Basically, you have some active missions that give you extra experience and give you extra credits in-game to actually buy things. Now, what do you need to buy? Well, let's look at the landing page we're on right now. First of all, you'll start off at the home page. The home page is good. It's nicely organized. They have a picture of the latest addition, the newest hero to be added to the roster, the newest Merc. And I think it's a good setup. It reminds me a lot, I will say, of Heroes of the Storm, but there's probably a reason for that. You have the barracks. The barracks is where most of the action happens, and then there's the store. We'll come back to this in a minute. Barracks is where most of the interesting things are going to happen. First off, you have the Mercs. Now, the Mercs change rotation, the free-to-play Mercs. I believe this week the new additions are Aurora and Sparks and Skyhammer. These guys, Vasily... Oh, I'm sorry. Sparks I unlocked with points. She is not normally free. This week, I think the two new people are Skyhammer and Aura. You have Bushwhacker. That's Aura right there, medic. You have Bushwhacker, Rhino, Skyhammer, and Vasily. Also, I think that Skyhammer and Aura are new this week. These guys that have the little watches on the bottom of their symbol, I think they're in their second week. Now, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I get the impression that each Merc's run is 2 weeks long, overlapping. So it's 2, 3, 2, 3, basically. 3 new Mercs, then 2 new Mercs, then 3 new Mercs, and that's how they basically do it. So there is a constant mix going on. It's a very similar style to Heroes of the Storm. It's a very similar style to Dota 2 or League of Legends and some of the other games out there. But despite the fact that this has a lot of business model similarities to MOBAs, it's actually a shooter. And it's a good shooter. The mechanics are good. The game feel is good. Different classes have different special powers. For example, if we go into Aura right here.
Aura's the name. Healing's... Hell, it ain't no game. Serious business.
They actually have full voice acting for all the different heroes, and I actually do think it's very cool. Shows you their starting health, like 80 for Aura. If you swap all the way over to Rhino...
Statistically, on average, I shoot all of you about 9 times.
They have 200 health for Rhino, the heavy, the tank. He's got a speed of 350, but if you look at Aura's speed...
Aura, the medic, yada yada, heals the ill, shoots the healthy. All we done.
470. I really do like the voice acting. It's really, really good. It adds a certain amount of personality to the game. When you're running around in game, they will say and communicate a lot based upon if they're low on ammo, if they're changing clips. They will chatter with their adjacent teammates, and I think it's very cool. Then there's this loadout card, okay? This is very important. With Aura... with all classes, you're going to start out with one loadout card. It's going to have a random weapon. I can click on this, and you can see they've got these full model designs, really nice looking. Pump-action shotgun, a called-in semi-auto pistol, and then a melee weapon. This is the same for all of them. They will have a big weapon, a small weapon, and a melee weapon. Then there are these, augments. You have to have at least a lead rarity card for this one, iron for this one, bronze for this one. What's the difference? Well, here's what the difference is. You look at this one, this is a silver. Okay? Holland's pump action shotgun. Basically, you start to get slightly nicer weapons. All the weapons do about the same damage. Most of the shotguns are equally killy, if that's a word. Most of the pistols are very, very similar. Now, some of the SMGs and machine guns feel different to me. They feel like some do more damage and some do less. Some of the shotguns do feel like some do more and some do less, but that might just be an accuracy thing and the fact that I'm no skilled professional. I'm just a guy. But whatever. Cricket bat. There are some melee weapons that have a bigger melee range than others. If you start off with a class that's got just a knife, you're going to have to get really close before you can kill somebody with it. Good news is, if you land a hit, you probably killed him in one shot. The cricket bat has a slightly wider swing range. It's an overhead strike, and it's about double the swing distance. Now, that's still very, very close. But that's something to take into account. Then this is, okay, a lead bottom level card quality, iron and bronze. That's basically tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 in order from bottom to top, or from low to high. Springy gives the Merc the ability to keep momentum for 3 jumps instead of 2, so you get triple jump instead of double jump. It's very nice. Healing reach. So basically, she can put down this med pack on the ground, and it will actually radiate out this healing radius that anybody that stands in it for a couple of seconds will get healed up real quick. That radius is larger with this ability. And then get up, 50% increase to revive, to health given on revive. So if a teammate is downed but not killed, those are 2 different states. And if they are downed but not killed, then basically you can use your defibrillator to get them up quickly in one shot, and they have 50% more health than another aura that didn't have this ability. That's significant. That is it seems like some of these are not a big deal, but they are. Springy, these are all random, by the way. These are not guaranteed every single time. They'll change. Springy, for example, gives you 3 jumps, a triple jump instead of a double jump. That automatically means there are certain map locations, certain perches that are harder to get to unless you have triple jump. That's a big deal. There are others that have there's a random perk you can get that eliminates fall damage completely. I think it's called Flying Pig. And Flying Pig basically means that you can jump off the highest perch and you'll never take fall damage. That is very significant because it means your character can evacuate certain areas a lot quicker. It's harder to get you cornered on some of the higher locations on the map. So, it's a big deal. Now, every class you start off with...
You want ammo? I got ammo.
One...
Fire support? I got fire support.
That's Artie. He's artillery fire support. You'll start off with 1 unranked card. No special abilities, just a weapon loadout.
I'm Bushwhacker.
All right?
I spring surprises. Boo! See?
Bushwhacker is actually a really cool guy. Bushwhacker actually has a turret he can place down. It's an automated machine gun. It does have a short to medium range lock-on, so you can't just put it at one end of the map and fire it in an alleyway. You're going to have to actually put it around corners and do ambush attacks. But anybody that's ever played a engineer in Team Fortress 2 or similar kind of games, you're going to be familiar with this tactic already. It's okay. He also is an objective specialist. So there are certain classes that are flagged as medics, some that are flagged as objective specialists, so that there are certain map objectives that only they can complete. And then there are others that usually have artillery or ranged support, like airstrikes, where they can clear out an open area of a lot of bad guys very, very quickly. Best example is actually, if we go back to Artie.
You want ammo? I got ammo. You want fire support? I got fire support.
I kind of think this is a little racist, but whatever. Maybe it's racist of me for thinking it's racist. We won't go into that, though. This guy drops ammo packs, and he can call in an artillery strike. He can actually use a laser designator to designate a target area, and an artillery strike hits a massive area. Now, if you look at, where is it? Skyhammer.
I do fire support. I give you ammo. I kill bad guys. I'm just lovely, really.
I do like Skyhammer. He's a very, very functional, very usable guy. He's very survivable. You never run out of ammo, for one thing, and he has the airstrike ability, which can actually clear out a very large field of bad guys very quickly with an airstrike marker. Anyway, so here's the trick, right? As you're leveling up, you'll get credits, and you'll use the credits to actually get cases. And this is a perfect example. Lead, iron, bronze, silver, gold, and cobalt. The only difference between these bottom three is cosmetic. Once you hit bronze, you have unlocked 3 weapon slots, and you have 3 weapon slots and 3 augment slots. At silver, you do not get another augment slot. The augments do not become more powerful. Now, what I do think happens is there are some augments that are more common and some that are more rare. I think once you hit silver, gold, and cobalt, you start getting the more rare and slightly more useful augments, but I do not have proof of that. So, when you first level up from level 1 to level 2, you'll get about 5,000 credits. When you hit 2 to 3, you'll get about 15,000, and so on and so forth. That's how I actually ramped up a lot of credits very quickly. I also did some basically quest or mission objectives. So when you go over here to home, you'll see I have some missions to actually go through today. I've got earn 10,000 game mode XP, and that'll net me 750 credits. Earn 17,000 combat XP. 750 credits. Complete 3 matches with Vasily in your squad. I had a lot of these right off the bat, so I got 1,500. 1,500, all sorts of stuff. I had a couple of gold, if you'll notice. This is, I think, 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star. It's gold, silver, and bronze, like Olympic medals. And I had a whole bunch of gold star missions when I first started off. I think I was kind of lucky on that regard, because it's randomized like Here's the Storm is. And again, I do not see a problem with this. It's a good business model. It's working for Heroes of the Storm. And I do see promise in this. The only gripe that I have is that after the first 2 or 3 levels, the thrill levels, as I like to refer to them, it's basically you get that thrill of getting a massive injection of credits, a massive surge of money to buy cases. A case is only 1,000 credits. After my first mission, I had about 6,000. After I cleared up to level 2, I had I want to say I had 10,000 or 12,000. After I hit level 3, I was swimming in more than 17,000 credits. So you start buying cases, you start doing all sorts of interesting stuff, and it really does feel like you're getting somewhere. Once you hit level 3, though, it slows down a lot. The experience you get, the experience that is required to get from 3 to 4, becomes a lot longer. And once you hit 4, the experience required to go from 4 to 5 is even longer. Plus, suddenly, all of these perks and quick mission completions for all of these kind of missions start to drop away, and they become bigger and harder to fulfill, and they give less and less and less credits. So there is a sudden sharp drop-off in your earning rate once you hit level 3. It becomes even more dramatic once you hit 4, and once 5 is cleared, I expect it's probably going to be even more drastic. I went from earning 1,200 to about 2,000 credits in my first couple of matches to now earning 120. I want to let that settle in for a second. 120 to 200 credits on average on a really good match with no mission completions. That's not good, especially when you consider to unlock a mercenary, it's 30,000 credits for some of the lower priced ones. And it's 50,000 for some of the higher price ones. $10? $10. Recruit this merc. So here's the thing, right? Here's the trick. It doesn't matter what fancy cards you have. I have Fletcher, I have Kira, I have a couple of bronze cards, right? I cannot play these heroes because I have not unlocked them, and they are not free. That's the important difference. It does not matter what loadout cards you have. You have to unlock the cards, the mercs here first, or have them be on a free week before you can use them, which means if there's one that you like consistently, you're going to have to save up probably over several weeks before you can unlock that one merc. And you're going to be getting a lot of other cards when you do randomized cases. When you buy cases in the store, either with credits, or you use money to get the elite cases. Now I'm going to point something out. An elite case, a single elite case, right? This is 1 random card. The only guarantee you have is that it's going to be at least silver. But the only real difference between silver and the step below it, bronze, is cosmetics. Rarer bling, but no additional augmentation strength, you see? That's what that little star is. Silver, gold, and cobalt. They're warning you. Just because you have a cobalt does not mean you're going to rule the roost automatically. Cobalts are not more powerful than silvers or bronzes or irons. They're just prettier. That's it. So you're paying $5 for one card, and it's going to be randomized. And I can actually show you a perfect example of this. Let's get one case. Purchase. You see? 80% chance of lead, 15% chance of iron, 3% bronze, 1.5 silver, less than half a gold, and less than 0.1% for cobalt. Now, here's the thing, okay? I'm going to be 100% completely honest in the source of my attention for this game, why I learned about it. I saw an actual video piece done on this game by Angry Joe, and then I saw it again crop up in the video feed for Total Biscuit. Both of them had fair things to say about the actual shooting mechanics and bad to really bad things to say about the business model. And that's not even where my concern really lands with this game. We'll circle back around to this in a second. I do think this is kind of rigged, but it looks like the percentage chance of randomness has been altered slightly to be slightly more fair or slightly less discouraging since Angry Joe got a hold of it, because he got all lead. Out of 20 cards, he got, I think, 1 iron. Or it was 1 bronze and 1 or 2 iron, that's it. I've already gone through about 5 iron cards, easily, and I did get 1 bronze. So, we'll see. I'm going to open this, and you'll see this wonderful game starts up. Oh, it's randomized. Where is it going to land? What's going to happen? Is it a gold card? It actually is a gold card.
Woo!
Now, this is the thing. This is an unheard of thing in some of the previous reviews of the game. I do think they've improved the percentages on this since some of the early reviewers got a hold of it. And that's good. That's very good. But if you saw, this pulled this direction. It pulled to the right. Or, I mean, basically the cards kept moving the same way they were moving. Every once in a while, though, you'll be very close to a gold or even a cobalt, and then it'll suddenly pull back to an iron and stop. I've seen that happen. I have almost gotten a cobalt twice, and then it pulled back to an iron, and then a lead in a second case. And I do think that's kind of fishy. Sometimes the card moves this way, sometimes it moves that way, depending upon, it seems like, the whim and randomness of nature. It's not even based upon what card it's closer to. It ignores that. But I have a gold card for Rhino, and Rhino is free this week. I could use him. But when next week rolls around, Rhino is going to drop off, which means I'm not going to have access to him anymore. I can't put him in my rotation. I can't use him. And that's kind of misleading to a certain point because they don't advertise it very well. Now, they do have a good number of heroes unlocked very well, but people that are going to be coming to this game are more likely to have been coming from a shooter history, and most shooter games, I don't know of any other shooter game that has the same kind of a model that this does. This is closer to a MOBA game, and you're probably going to be luring in a different audience most times. So I do think they need to communicate this better, but this isn't really where my concern lies. My concern lies in what's happening in the background. I do think this game has a lot of potential, but when you're playing it, I get 60 FPS, locked solid. I actually don't know if it's going to show up in the recording, but up here in the top left corner, 60 FPS, and it stays at that all the time. Except during the actual points, during gameplay, I will get a random hard hitch every once in a while, and I don't know why. So I started researching and investigating. What I discovered is that while this game is running, there is a program that is actually also running that's called the XIGN code 3, the number 3, watchdog process. It's in Task Manager. So I started running a process watcher on that to see what was going on. I started analyzing it. And periodically, middle of the match, it will start digging through my hard drive and thrashing my hard disk activity for no discernible reason. And it's not even every match. It's not even at the same point in every match. It is random. Once every 30 minutes, once every hour. It'll go for 2 hours straight and not do it and then suddenly kick up again. And I don't understand why. So I started to do some research. And that's where things get a little concerned. For me, at least. So I started doing some Googling. Started doing some research, try and figure out what's going on. What is this process that's happening? Well, the first thing I noticed was the actual identifier XIGN code 3. What is XIGN code 3? Well, basically did some initial Googling, and what ends up happening is I started discovering all these other games that use XIGN code 3, and they start listing problems with the actual game. They start listing performance issues. They start listing all sorts of stuff. Then this came up, Welbia.com. Well, Welbia.com is a future solution of gaming security, mainly for online gaming services, currently patented and registered as a one-time executable code structure, which allows levels of various security policies. So basically, this is an anti-hacking measure, which I'm all for. They're trying to actually eliminate hacking for Dirty Bomb. So this is an actual anti-hacking measure for Dirty Bomb, and this is a great thing. The trouble is that the way that it actually works is not very effective. If you go to the actual subreddit for Dirty Bomb, /r/Dirty Bomb, then you'll find a lot of people complaining about folks that are obviously using what are called trigger bots. Not aim bots, but trigger bots. Basically, if your cursor ever passes over a quote-unquote valid heart target, then it shoots for you automatically. It does not aim for you, it just shoots for you. What ends up happening is you end up getting a lot of pre-aiming, people that are actually automatically shooting at a target that's on the other side of a wall as they're coming around the corner, even though the fact that they don't know that target is there and coming from around that corner to begin with. It's a lot of fishy behavior like this. There's a lot of video getting posted on YouTube that's actually talking about this. There's some folks that are actually boasting their skills and et cetera, and you'll see very fishy shooting and aiming behavior based upon this. But that's not the biggest point. My big point is the fact that this program is designed specifically for anti-hacking, and it's not working very well. But you're asking, well, okay, what's the big deal? It's a shooter on Steam, and it's got hacking in it. Why do you care, Vaygrim? Well, here's the reason why I care. There is a file called the USN Journal in a Windows system, okay? The USN Journal actually keeps track of all the files that have been opened and had changes made to them, opened and whatnot, and it's done specifically for the sake of the file indexing service in Windows. I haven't had to deal with the file indexing service in Windows or the USN Journal system in probably the better part of 10 years. So I had to go look some of this up to reacquaint my brain again. But the basic premise is that when Dirty Bomb opens up and XIGN code 3 starts running, what it's doing is it's actually checking the USN Journal that's stored on your hard drive, and it looks at everything that has been opened since the last time you ran Dirty Bomb. And then it starts to go off and scan those in separate batches. What you'll see a lot of people report, and this is what this thread is about, these people were trying to play Dungeon Fighter Online, and Dungeon Fighter Online uses the same code. It uses XIGN 3, or XIGN code 3, same program. And they start running across problems where they'll start seeing random hard drive thrashing. The resource monitor starts going nuts. Well, this is what I've noticed with Dirty Bomb. I see periodic spikes in hard drive activity for no reason whatsoever. Not even on the same drive that this game is installed on, nor on the same drive that the Windows system cache, the Windows virtual RAM file and all that nonsense. that stuff isn't even on the same drive as what this thing will end up scanning. It starts scanning all of my attached drives that I have altered files on or copied files to since the last time I opened Dirty Bomb. And that bothers me. That really does get me concerned. If you start looking at some of these other search results, you'll start to see that a lot of antivirus programs see XIGN code 3 as a potential Trojan because of its scanning activity. It is getting all of the files you've accessed, and it's actually cataloging that, packaging that up as data, and sending it back off to the people that run it. How do I know this? Well, if you look in the actual EULA under Steam for Dirty Bomb, they talk about being able to scan information from your system, like current running processes, previously accessed files, and use that for research purposes. The EULA for Dirty Bomb even states that they can send it to whomever they want to. They can get that data and send it off to whoever they want to without your consent and without you being able to object. That bothers me. It bothers me a lot. Yeah. Okay, here we go. When running, the software may monitor your computer's random access memory, RAM, for unauthorized third-party programs running concurrently with the game. An unauthorized third-party program, as used herein, shall be defined as any third-party software prohibited by Section 3.3 above. In the event that the software detects an unauthorized third-party program, the game may communicate information back to Nexon America, including without limitation to your account name, details about the unauthorized program, time and date, and or Nexon America may exercise any or all of its rights under this agreement with or without prior notice. Basically, they can ban you from the game if they so choose. So basically, additionally, certain games may include a tool that will allow your computer system to forward information to Nexon America in the event of game crashes, including system and driver information, and consent to Nexon America being able to receive this data. There's a lot of other stuff like this hidden in the EULA, and it bothers me. It disconcerts me. But the biggest thing is this. I don't like this XIGN code 3. There's a lot of bad information floating on out there about what it does or how it works. This worries me. Valve actually has the Valve Anti-Cheat software, VAC. Valve Anti-Cheat has been improved upon and used for a decade or more by so many games that are on the Steam platform. And it's such a much, much better system because all it does is scan for patterns, code patterns, so to speak, in your current running process. It doesn't need to scan my hard drive. It doesn't need to intercept DirectX modulation calls and so many other things. So, a real-time detection status, real-time game statistics data, access counts, hacking tool detection counts, gameplay frequently used. So this goes beyond just hacking data. This goes beyond them using it for the sake of hacking. This thing can actually be used for the sake of analytics as well. And I'm not real fabulous on this. There's got to be a better way. So I really do encourage you. I'm not saying don't play Dirty Bomb, but XIGN code 3 does its scanning in such a way that it can actually track keystrokes, specifically keyboard hijacking. The way that it actually does it is to detect the keyboard functions while it's happening, and it watches for any behavior during that process, which means that if you have Dirty Bomb running, you Alt-Tab out and log into your banking website, those keystrokes can technically be cataloged and sent back to splash damage or somewhere else we don't know of. And that makes me very, very nervous. And I think it should make you nervous. So do your own research. Do your own investigation. Dig into XIGN code 3 before you really embrace Dirty Bomb. I do really highly suggest that you think about this carefully. This is Vaygrim signing off. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because I don't think I need to beat this into the ground any further. I think I've gone along long enough, and hopefully you'll get the point. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. I'm hoping you found this useful.